I reckon Steve Baines represents the future for the men in the middle.
Help me out. Next time I've got a problem, it's either you two. Hey, enjoy yourselves. We'll talk to each other.
On Saturday, Baines was at Northampton Town's new Six-Field Stadium for the first time, but he remembers their old ground because he played there. In a career spanning 15 years and 7 clubs, Baines was a nothing special centre-half down the divisions. To date, as the only ex-professional on the referees list, he stands out.
It was Tommy Smith and Chopper Harris, and making reference to ex-pros being Football League officials. And I thought, well, that's not a bad idea. And it was a challenge. I thought, well, we'll have a go with that. And I approached the local referees association and got on the course for that.
It takes the average ref 10 to 12 years to make the league list. Baines has qualified in just 6, partly because FIFA want younger referees, partly, says Baines, because he's in touch with that extra experience. But his meteoric rise has met with some resentment.
A lot of them that come and work with me probably have a preconceived idea about me because my name's been banded around their associations and one thing and another. But hopefully by the time they've left and we've had a good day, they go away with a different point of view.
You're suggesting in a way you've had to prove a point to some people. Some people have been suspicious.
I would think that's been the case. And it happens, but it doesn't worry me in that respect.
If I miss you totally, which could quite be the case, retain your flag until you've got the...
I relate to how the managers feel, because I've been there. Not actually a full manager, but you know, I was assistant player manager at the end there. So I relate to how they feel. I relate to how the players feel. But I also relate to how referees feel as well.
What do you think the biggest quality he's going to bring as a referee, having played the game at this level?
I think even probably looking at Steve, and I go to watch a lot of Central League games, and obviously he refereed quite a lot in the Midlands last year, is his humour. And I think players will identify with that as well. And being probably an ex-pro as well, it will help.
OK. The least seen of us as a team, the better. The game's all about you people. We're all right with the trainers, treatment and everything else.
But when you've known people in the game for a long time, there can be complications. At the start of the season, Baines was getting good marks from managers, but not the referee assessors who watch every game. They thought he was too soft.
It's interesting, isn't it? In a way, what those marks were suggesting then is that you're...
I wasn't probably doing the job as it should be done.
But yet the managers obviously felt you were.
Yeah, well, that's how it works sometimes, isn't it?
You've got to strike a medium.
You've got to strike a happy medium, because I'm not a player now. The part I play is an arbitrator.
As we go around the clubs now, there are current players who have taken the referee's course and are actually playing and are actually refereeing as well as playing. There are, I think, probably 9 or 10, and it's something that the PFA are encouraging. They're encouraging players to look to the refereeing side, so that if a playing career ends, in many cases, they're still young enough to make a successful refereeing career, as Steve has done.
How are we doing, boys? Here we through.
Down in the tunnel, a few jokes and a big smile set the tone for Steve Baines Saturday afternoon. Up in the director's box, the match assessor was impressed with his fitness, his relaxed approach, and Baines' handling of an important game for 2 promotion-chasing teams. It really inspired as a spectacle. Jason White scored his 3rd goal in 2 games against Darlington to put Northampton in front. 7 minutes later, the referee was reaching for his back pocket and waving the first of 2 yellow cards. But it must say something for Baines' control of a game that in his first season, he's yet to send a player off. Northampton goalkeeper Andy Woodman must have felt like red-carding himself when he allowed Robbie Painter to equalise. In well over 500 games, Baines was never remotely close to a cup final, but at his current rate of progress, he might still make it as a referee.
Steve does let the game flow. He doesn't book players for, shall we say, lesser tackles, whereas some referees do.
Where would you put him in your sort of percentage-wise in terms of referees that you've seen?
One of the best that we've had this season. Now, obviously, we don't get the top referees being in the 3rd division, but he's certainly one of the best we've had.
He's got on with it, he's enjoyed it, and he's had no hassle off the players, and he's been very sensible, and probably because that's got his a professional background. And I did say to him when he turned up this morning, he turns up in Mercedes, I'm saying, I wonder what they pay the referees now, because he's better now than what he was when he was playing. A lovely Mercedes.